Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky, for the introduction, and it's wonderful to be here. So yes, as Vicky has just introduced me, my name is Nicole. I'm a Qigong teacher. I I teach regularly. It's my full-time profession. So our session today is Discover Qigong. So some of you may have done Qigong before, and as I mentioned to Vicky when she told me about her experience, that every teacher is different, and there's thousands, literally thousands of forms of Qigong. So different approaches to the practice, but also different styles and forms of movement that are incorporated under this banner that we call Qigong. There's also stillness and meditative practices that fall under this banner of Qigong. So we'll be doing a movement practice this morning, and I just want to begin with explaining for those of you that may not know what Qigong is. It's, as I've just alluded to, it's a movement practice. It's connected very intricately with traditional Chinese medicine or Oriental medicine. And ultimately, it's based on the premise that your body, your physical body, and also your emotions and your thoughts and ideas and beliefs are all bioenergetic system. So the premise in Oriental medicine is that when our qi, our life force or our aliveness is flowing freely, then we have and experience good health in all kinds of realms, mental, physical, emotional health. So what we're going to do is this movement practice that's going to help in allowing your qi or your aliveness to flow more freely. And the other fundamental of Oriental medicine is that tension and stress inhibit the flow of qi. So in a health aspect, in a very basic health aspect, we help to release the physical, mental, emotional tension and stress from our energy system so that our qi can flow more freely. That's a very, very brief explanation of how it works. So the first thing we need to do, and it's the name of this session, is discover our qi. Lots of people that I come across, I say to them, what does your aliveness feel like? And they kind of look at me quizzically. They're not sure what I'm asking them. They perhaps don't have a vocabulary or a language to describe their qi. So the first thing we're going to do this morning is discover our qi. We're going to feel into our aliveness. So I'm going to pop back onto my mat back here, and you'll be able to see my whole body. You're going to follow along this morning, and you're just going to watch, listen, and do, right? That's basic instruction. Watch, listen, and do. Before I explain anything, let's do this Discover Qi exercise. So stand with your feet about hip distance apart. And if you can, have your feet straight and parallel, like you're standing on train tracks. And just begin to soften your body a little bit, sort of just softly standing. Notice where your center of gravity is, and close your eyes, or if you prefer, you could just look down at the floor or the earth in front of you. And I just want you to take a few long breaths and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. 2 or 3 breaths, just like that. One more time. As you stand here in this now moment, just feel yourself here, right? And notice your physical body. And as I said, you can have your eyes closed for the moment or looking down. And the question I pose, what does your qi feel like? Often people have not maybe heard that word before, that term, qi. So just think of it like your aliveness. I'm asking you, what does your aliveness feel like? Just take a moment, right? Maybe you take another couple of breaths and you just feel into your body and see if you can think, you're not needing to share this with anyone, but just for your own reference, just see if you can Think, what words in your own vocabulary, your own language, describe aliveness to you? What does it feel like in your body right now? Let's take one more long breath and breathe it out our mouth. And let's do a couple of things that will help to activate our aliveness, to help us to discover what it is that I'm talking about. Let's begin by bringing the back of the fingers close and touching the knuckles. So you're bending your fingers and the back of your knuckles are touching. And you're starting to rub your knuckles just gently together, right? Just creating a little friction. And you take another breath, just like I've been instructing, in through your nose and out through your mouth. We call these cleansing breaths. I want you to go a bit faster with the rubbing, the friction, and take another breath. We're not in a hurry. We're never in a hurry with Qigong. It's a very slow and detailed and intricate, precise practice. Rub the back of your knuckles as fast as you can together and take one more of those breaths. And then stop rubbing. Open your hands and hold your palms very close but not touching. Close your eyes or look down and just feel around your fingers and your hands and just notice what's there. Take another breath. Then you're going to rub your palms. So start to rub your hands together like you're warming them up, right? Just create a little friction and take another deliberate breath. As fast as you can for one more full breath. Stop rubbing. Again, hold really close but not touching. Have your elbows out and away from your body so your arms are out in front of you. Just feel. Close down your eyes or half close them and just feel. Obviously, we're making this happen. We're creating this sensation. But the idea of the sensation of qi, right? It's through your whole body all of the time, but often we're not tuned into it. You can think of it like you're tuning into a radio station, right? Let's start to flick our wrists now. So our arms are out in front, our palms are up, and we're flicking. Just through the wrist, we call the joints of the body, we refer to the joints of the body as gates. So you're flicking your wrist gates. You're opening your wrist gates. Take another breath. And then turn over the hands and just keep going, right? So it's kind of like you're flicking palms down now. Take another breath or two. And then you're going to start to move from your shoulder joints. So you're going to start to swing your whole arms, right? Your entire arms. And you'll notice that I'm bending my knees. I'm bending and straightening. I'm not moving my head, I'm just looking straight ahead. And I'm swinging my arms. So I'm creating this practice of arm swings or swinging the arms. There's lots of variations of this in Qigong, across Qigong. Find a little rhythm and maybe you'll be called to take some more of those cleansing breaths that I described earlier, out through the mouth. When we breathe out through the mouth in this way, we help to release or begin to release some tension and stress from the body. Also heat, right? It's good for cooling down the body. Take one more breath and just gradually slow down. Bring your arms down by your sides and then start to helicopter your arms. Start to swing your arms like they're, helicoptering around your body. And you're going to start tapping on your body. So you use the back of your hand to knock very gently right opposite your belly button on your spine. All right, so one hand is coming behind and tapping there. Your other hand, the heel of your palm is tapping on what we call the leg gates, which are the hips, right? And you'll see that my lower body, it's not moving. So my knees are a little bent so that I can be nice and steady through my lower body. And the turning, it's coming from my waist and my shoulders, right? Take a few more breaths. It's called knocking the door of life. It's another activating and generating form in this practice of Qigong. It's quite fundamental. Usually most teachers share something like this. There's a few variations, but something like this. You're going to start to turn your gaze and your heart around towards the sides of your area that you're practicing in, so that the twisting becomes more prominent, greater, but not turning the knees and barely turning the hips, right? From the waist and the shoulders. Take a few more breaths. And then you're going to come back and look straight ahead. So the twist is lesser, and you're going to very gradually unwind your arms, slowly, slowly, and come back to just standing softly, right? Sinking down a little. Let your eyelids close or look down. And just again, I invite you to tune in. See if you can align your antenna so that you're feeling and sensing your aliveness. What does it feel like? Your chi, your energy. What does it feel like? Just sensing, watching, observing, feeling. Take one more breath. We're going to do one more little practice here that's about this discover your chi. Going to start to tap the chest with the fingertips. If you wanted, you could use a loose fist, right? And you'll notice I'm tapping from one side of my chest horizontally across, from side to side. We're going to come into this practice that we refer to as a chi massage, an energy massage, an aliveness massage. We're starting with the chest, so side to side, and then up and down. So move into a vertical motion, up and down, right on the midline. Keep breathing. If it feels good to you, keep breathing in through the nose and just when it feels right, out through your mouth to release any stress and tension. Usually we just employ this method of breathing kind of towards the beginning of practice as a way to condition the breath a little. You're going to bring one arm out to the side, doesn't matter which one. And underneath the collarbone on that side, you just give yourself a little tap on the chest. And then you're going to tap down the inside of your arm right to the fingertips. And then turn the hand over and tap the back of the hand and up the outer part of your arm and right up to your shoulder, right in towards your trapezius muscle. It's the one that's usually quite tight. And then you can do the same thing, exactly the same thing again. So down the inside, right to the fingertips and up the outside. When you make your way to your shoulder, you can let that arm come down and just rest and just keep tapping on the shoulder, just gently. Take a breath. And then this arm that's tapping, it's going to come out and it's going to receive. We'll come to the chest on the other side, right near to the shoulder, and then down the inside of the arm. Right way to the fingers, all the way to the fingers, and up. Nice and slow. Onto the shoulder, trapezius area on the other side. And then when you're ready, down again. Up the outside. When you reach the shoulder for the second time, arm releases, tapping. And then you'll bring both of your hands to the great vertebra. You'll tap with your fingertips all around the great vertebra. I'm sure you can find it. It's a large protruding vertebra at the top of your spine, all around your trapezius area, top of your shoulders. And then onto the back of your neck and behind your ears, all over, really thorough. And come onto the base of your head and work your way just gently with your fingertips all over your scalp. See if you can make contact with every centimeter of your scalp, working your way up to the very top of your head, the crown of your head, for a little gentle tapping. Call this the Bai Hui, means 100 meeting points. And then down towards your hairline, come onto the forehead, come onto the face now. And just like you did with the scalp, very thorough. There's lots of acupressure points in your face. There's many, many points. So tap everywhere. All over the cheeks, bridge of the nose, corners of the mouth, the jaw. Tilt your jaw, your chin up in the air and kind of look up a little. And tap everywhere around the jaw. We tend to hold a bit of tension, most of us, in our jaw. And then come onto the neck, so underneath the chin, onto the neck. And then down, you're going to make your way all the way down to your lower rib area, your solar plexus, and you're going to tap all around this section of your torso. And you're going to make your way down to the abdomen and the sides of the abdomen, you know, where the organs sit. On the right side, there's the liver and the gallbladder. On the left side, we've got the spleen. Tap all around nice and gently. On the sides of your body, and then around to where you were knocking before. Use the back of your knuckles, the back of your hands, and tap all around your lower back. See if you can come up a little higher, just wherever it feels comfortable. And then down to the sacral area. So right around and just above the tailbone. And then from here, let's go down the legs. So outside of the thighs and the buttocks, and down the legs, down the outside, all the way if you can to your ankles, and then up the inside. We're following the direction of the energy travel, that the energy travels. We'll come onto the leg gates, the hips, give them a little tap. Go back to your door of life, opposite your belly button, and tap again the lower back, all around there. And make your way again down the outside, all the way, and up the inside. Finish on the leg gates, give them a little tap, the hip area, and then just let your arms come by your sides and soften your eyes or close your eyes, look down, and just again, feeling. Qi sensitivity training is what this Discover Qigong is about. If we can't feel and sense our qi, it's going to be very difficult to work with that energy, right? So just take a moment here in stillness to feel. Take a few breaths. What does it feel like to be with yourself, to be inside your physical body? What's present for you? What are those words that come into your awareness that describe for you what it is that I'm talking about? Your energy, your aliveness, your qi. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and you just take your feet back into what we call bamboo in the wind. So feet closer together for a moment. Hopefully that little process we've just been through has given you a bit of an idea about what your energy feels like, your aliveness, and being able to connect to that. So that's kind of the first step with practice of Qigong. We need to discover first our Qi and work with that energy and feel that energy so that we can work with that energy is a better way of saying it. Let's get into some other types of movements and practices that fall under this banner of Qigong, though. What we'll do now is what we call forms that circulate our qi. So we've discovered it, and now we want to help the body to open physically, mentally, emotionally, so that the energy can move around the body. There's one thing that we should be aware of when we're practicing Qigong, and it's one of the core aspects of the practice. There's lots of details about Qigong that if you were just watching it, you probably wouldn't know, you probably wouldn't understand why you're doing certain things. But hopefully, this session is going to enlighten you a little bit about some of these things. So, when you join other opportunities in the future to practice, you'll have a better intellectual understanding of what you're doing. Let's come back out into our standing form. So let me explain this before we do these circulate chi movements. As I said before, when you're standing deliberately. Everything that we do in Qigong is deliberate, it's intricate, it's precise, right? It's a practice of precision and presence. So have a look at your feet, and ideally, like obviously we all have different bone shapes and maybe injuries that have affected us or different things going on in our body, but ideally we want our feet to be straight and parallel, and we want our feet to be at least hip distance apart. Often people think their hips are quite narrow, so just have a look down, and if you bring your hands down and make some light fists and just look down, you should be able to see your feet easily on either side of your hands, of your fists. The other thing that's really important in Qigong practice is that we soften the body. There's actually a whole practice around this. I won't go into that today, but it's called Sung, so you can look it up if you wish. But we soften the body. So what we do is the knees, particularly, they have a little bend, right? So a little bend comes through the knee joints, the knee gates, if we want to refer to them in that way. And we allow our tailbone to kind of loosen like it's dropping down. We move our arms away from the sides of the body. And they say to imagine that there's small eggs in the underarms, so like you're holding these eggs in your underarms. Our fingers are straight and soft, pointing down. The crown of the head is lifting. So the stance, the foundation of your Qigong is very particular. This is the most fundamental and core thing that you can do in Qigong. If you traveled to China many years ago now to train in Qigong with a master, you would have to stand like this for many, many months, maybe even up until a year before the master would give you permission to do anything else. So forging your foundation, which is what this is hugely important in the efficiency of your Qigong. Let's get into some of these other forms, though, that I described. So standing deliberately. And let's start with what we call picking cherries. Bend the elbows and bring the hands nice and close to the shoulders, so elbows close into the body. And it's like you're holding grapefruits in your hands. Turn and look at one hand, and you're going to reach up as you push the foot on that side of your body down, and you're going to reach as high as you can, and then make the shape with your fingers like you're wrapping your fingers around a small red cherry, and you're pulling that cherry down out of the tree. Your gaze is fixed on the cherry in the grapefruit. You turn your head to the other side, you push the foot down, and you reach, and it's really high, so you have to really stretch yourself up. You pick the cherry, and you're moving from side to side, activating as you reach, extending, and then softening as you withdraw the arm back down. Your gaze stays with the hands and the fingers. And we turn the head side to side, picking cherries. Don't forget to breathe, so take some nice, long, slow breaths. We'll do a couple more here. No hurrying, no rushing. Qigong is uber slow. We've got one more for each side. Take your time. From here, reach both of your arms up and look up and take a really big stretch. And then bring your palms together and draw the palms down the midline. Bring them down towards the belly and lean forward a little and bring your arms out to the sides with your palms up. And then bring your hands, palms touching, back up the midline and open in a V shape, just a little wider than your shoulders and back down to the earth. It's called the Tao Yin flow. Up and down we go. The palms stay together for as long as possible, and then they separate, and it's just a really subtle leaning, and it's a really subtle V shape above the head. Keep going up and down. One more time up, one more time down. And then back to the heart space. We take ourselves into twist and flow, turning and pushing one arm, doesn't matter which one, we're going side to side, across the chest and across the body at the level of the shoulders. Joining the palms back together at the heart, sinking deliberately down, and then turning to the other side and finding a little rhythm. No rushing, nice and slow. Everything that we do in Qigong is deliberate and precise, intentional practice. We're not in a hurry. It's kind of like the opposite of the rest of life, really. One more time to the other side. Back to heart center. Soften the body and turn the hands over so that the back of the fingers touch, the fingertips pointing up. This one's a little trickier. It's called tiger claw. One hand, one arm, up, over past the side of your head and behind, the other arm forward and down. If I turn myself onto the side, you'll be able to see more easily. Past the side of the head, up and over, both arms down, the back of the fingers up the midline, and looking directly ahead as you start to practice this alternating forward and back. When you get going, when you get a little rhythm happening, you're going to start to spread really wide and broad your hands and fingers as you reach the arms out. When the arms come down, you soften everything in your hands and your arms. You come up the midline and begin again. Keep going for a few more. Just looking straight ahead with this one today. Let's do one more for each side. You can allow your arms to come down by your sides and just turn your body to face directly ahead. Lift both of your arms now, bending your elbows, and have your palms shining inwardly at the level of your face. Turn your body onto the side from the waist, so hips facing forward as much as possible. Looking at the palms here and taking a breath, then on the exhale, turn the palms away and push the arms out as if you're pushing your palms against a wall or a window. And then bend the elbows and turn the palms and draw them back in, and then press out again. Find a rhythm for yourself. Do a couple more. One more time. Draw the hands in once again, palms facing in. Just allow the arms to sweep down, and you'll turn around to the other side and you'll bring the arms up in the same way. Then you'll turn your palms over and you'll press out to the other side. Softening on the way in, and then standing more active, pressing the arms out, extending. We'll do 2 more for this side. And we'll draw the palms in again, and we'll just release the arms and we'll come to face forward. We'll place our hands in front of the thighs with the palms facing in, a couple of inches away from your thighs. And then it's as if your elbows are lifting your arms, and you'll draw your hands right up. And as they come overhead, you'll flip your palms over so they're facing away and your fingers are pointing up. You're looking up. Then you'll bend your knees and you'll pull your arms down as if you're dragging your palms over a pane of glass in front of you. You'll sense for where your knees are, close but not touching, and you'll go up in the same way. Up over the head, flip the palms over, and then sit down, look straight ahead, and drag the hands down. Sense for the knees, close but not touching, and up again. It's called the tiger sitting in the grass. You can come down lower, but for this one, no looking down. We look straight ahead and up only. Find a little rhythm close to your body on the way up and a few feet away on the way down. If you want to, you can actually come down and sweep the fingertips onto the floor. But as I said earlier, no looking down. So just come to where it feels good to you. We'll do a couple more. Come up above the head and take a really big stretch on this next one. Just take a little pause, reaching, and then chin to neutral, head to neutral, hands to the top of your head, touching, feeling down over the back of the head and the neck, the top of your shoulders, the sides of your body. Flip your hands over onto your lower back, give it a little rub. You're going to come into a forward fold. If for some reason you don't want to, there's a couple of alternatives. One alternative is just to round yourself into this position I'm demonstrating now, chin to chest. But if you're good to come down, you'll rub over your buttocks and you'll rub over the back of your legs and you'll bend your knees and you rub up and down the back of your legs. You could come to a halfway point where you hold your elbows and you release your head. So this is kind of variation 2. Or if it's feeling good, you'll come down and you'll rub over the toes and the feet, the ankles and the heels, and you'll just dangle yourself down. You'll allow the head and the neck and the shoulders, the arms to just become heavy and floppy. Whichever position you're in, just take a few of those cleansing breaths where you breathe out your mouth. Letting go, releasing. One more full breath. Wherever you're at, you'll bend your knees a little bit more and you'll slowly unwind up to standing. Once you're upright, you'll let your whole body become heavy and soft, and you'll just take that opportunity to feel your chi again. So perhaps the eyes will close or you'll look down, and maybe you can sense that aliveness even more prominently now. Take one more breath. We're going to take our feet into what we call a horse stance now. It's like you're riding a horse. It's not all the way out. It's not like in yoga when we're doing the warrior or something like that. It's just a little wider. So take yourself out. And like I said, it's like you're riding a horse. Sink yourself down. So bend in the knees, heaviness through the body. Place your palms together again at your heart. And then you're going to flip the palms up and open the arms all the way as far as you can behind your body. Then flip your palms down and draw your arms back out in front. Palms up on the opening and behind, palms down as you come back. Find a rhythm for a few of these. Just nice and slow. Couple more times. Last one. Back out in front. When the arms are out in front, join the palms together and draw back in. And now take one hand up above your head and one hand below your navel. Look at the top hand and then send this arm over so that you're coming into a side stretch. You're looking up. You're taking a pause, and then you'll become more upright and you'll draw your palms back together and you'll sink yourself down. And then you'll separate so that the other arm is up over your head, and you'll lean and look up just gently and back to center sinking. Push up and push down, look up and then lean and back to the heart center sinking. Do a couple more like this. Nice and slow, deliberate, intentional practice. One more to each side. Come back to the heart center. We have one more form we'll explore here that's all about getting the chi circulating. Let's take the hands and place one on top of the other, down near the abdomen, nice and loose, nice and soft. And then you're going to pull your arms up. Your hands are close but not touching. They're going to come right up above your head, and you'll flip your palms over so they're away from your body. You'll take a very generous bend into the knee, and you'll reach your arms forward and down, and you'll come between the space between the knees, between the legs, and you'll come close to your body and up over your head again. Palms flip over, and then we reach out. It's very soft and gentle. The knees are very generously bending so you can easily float down, and then you roll up. It has an undulating quality to it, a soft, undulating quality. We bring the chin to the chest as the arms are between the legs, and then we look up as the arms reach up. Just finding a little rhythm, if you can, in this rolling, undulating kind of form. If you want to come down lower, you certainly can. It's up to you. Just see if you can keep the softness and the undulation, the rolling motion flowing. We'll do a couple more. Come down one more time and roll up again over the head. And once you're up and you're above your head and you're looking up, just let your arms radiate all the way out to the sides and down. Bring your head back to neutral. And then you can take both of your legs and step yourself into bamboo in the wind. I've mentioned that once already. It's a reference to standing with your feet close-ish together. Just allow your eyes to close or look down. Place your hands over your what we call dantian. Think of it as just below your belly button, a couple of inches below. Take a few breaths and just feel. There's so much to learn and understand with Qigong. I can barely scratch the surface in the time that we have together. But what we've done so far is some practices that help us to discover our qi and our aliveness and the sensation of that, to develop a relationship with our qi. That's kind of the first step in a way. The second part we've done so far is we've worked with our alignment and circulating our energy, allowing or creating the conditions in the body for the qi to flow more freely. You might be feeling quite different to what you were at the very beginning. We still have the last part of our Discover Qigong to explore. You can let your arms come by your sides. So often Qigong is associated with very soft, rhythmic, flowing types of movements. We're going to do some of those now. We're going to start this next practice, this next part of our practice, very deliberately, and we're going to do what we call an opening and a closing to the practice. So standing in bamboo in the wind, I like to be a little bit over on one side, and we step out usually in this practice from this position with our left leg. So I invite you to come into that basic position, that foundation I talked about earlier, and soften and sink yourself. Move your arms away from the sides of your body. Push both of your feet into the floor and lift up the crown of your head. Take a full breath here and let it out your mouth. Opening the qi gates. We'll just do one. Usually we would do this at the very beginning and we would do 3. Different teachers have different ways of doing this. You lift your arms with your palms up and gather around the body and over the head. Bend your elbows, turn your palms down and glide your arms down in front of you and back by your sides. From here, lift and lower your arms out in front, no higher than your shoulders, up and down. Think of this, as I said, very soft and rhythmic. We're not stretching or exerting ourselves when we do these types of forms. Everything is very, very gentle. There's all these little specific details to what we're doing, even when we're doing something like this that seems so very basic. Notice your fingers. Allow them to softly straighten, separate each finger so they're not touching one another. And it's like your wrists are guiding you up and down. There's a little bend in your elbows and your arms no higher than your shoulders. So we really notice where in space we are, spatially. I'm sure Qigong improves spatial awareness, but sometimes I feel like I don't really understand space very well. Keep going. Maybe you'll coordinate with your breath, You don't have to, but sometimes it's easier, particularly if you've never done Qigong before. Inhale up, exhale down. Just do a few more. Do one more repetition. This is called open the flow. Once the arms are down by your sides, direct the back of your hands, close but not touching, with your fingers pointing down. You're in front of your hip area. Then pull the arms up the midline of the body to the chest. Bring the elbows inward and turn the palms outwardly and fan the arms out and down as you lean forward and bend the knees. Bring the back of the hands close but not touching, up again, and then fan out and down. This is called the fountain. You can probably see how we're making a shape that could be construed as a fountain. It's just small, so we're not coming above the head. We're making the spraying of the water around the level of the shoulders. And like that form we did just before, we're undulating, we're rolling. I'll turn myself onto the side, and if you have a look at my body, you'll notice that it's not just my arms, it's my whole body that's moving. I'm rolling up and then I'm leaning forward, bending the knees, and the arms are leading the way in this form. It's called the fountain. There's many variations of similar or many expressions of forms that will be similar to this in the thousands and thousands of forms of Qigong that are spread across many lineages, many different teachings. Keep going. Do a few more of these fountain movements. See if you can find a little flow for yourself, a rhythm. Do 3 more, just at your own pace. And then on the 3rd one, your arms will just come down by your sides. You're going to take a split stance now. So you'll turn your body on a 45-degree angle to one side. The leg on that same side of your body will just slide out so it's a little bit in front. And it's like you're picking up all the chi that you've created. You're bringing it up to your chest and you're going to push forward and come to lean into the front leg. And then you'll turn your palms and you'll draw back as you lean to the back leg. You turn the palms and you'll push forward. You turn them over again and you'll draw back. It's called the coming and going of waves. Find a rhythm. We want to synchronize the limbs, right? Ultimately, that's what we're working on in terms of mastering forms. So the arms are synchronized with whatever it is that the legs are doing. Forward and back with the weight. And keep going for a couple more. One more for this side. So pull back and then push forward again. Draw the chi in towards the heart and just hold the hands there. Turn to face forward and withdraw your leg. Turn yourself on an angle to the other side and slide the other leg out. And then just begin the same form on the other side. Just nice and slow. Qigong is a practice of presence. We're cultivating our ability to be present. When we're practicing, that's what we're practicing. And we're not doing it for right now. We're not practicing for right now, although we are, But ultimately, we're practicing our presence so that we can be more present in every moment of our lives. Keep going for a little longer, nice and slow and steady. Do one more. So you'll push forward one more time. You'll pull back. You can release the arms down, withdraw your leg, come to face forward again, soften and sink yourself. Bring your hands now to what we call holding the pearl, resting on top of the other in front of the belly. You're going to take the bottom hand and you're going to lean out and sweep out. You're going to turn the wrist around so the fingertips are pointing away, and you're going to create a big circle over to the other side, up and over in front of your body, back to the side you started on, and back underneath the hand that's waiting. Then take the top hand, lean out, turn the wrist and circle up, over, back around and under. Use the top hand to begin now. Out, circle, over. You're leaning your weight, you're letting your whole body move. Under the other hand, top hand. It's called consolidate the chi. Nice and slow. Side to side. We look out, we let our gaze follow what our arm is doing, our hand is doing. We'll do a few more. Turn your inner smile on. Some of you may have heard that term before. It's a Taoist meditative practice. It's connected very strongly with Qigong, of deliberately smiling at yourself. We're going to do 2 more repetitions, one for each arm. Turn a small smile onto the corners of your mouth and just direct it at yourself. Smiling at yourself is an act of self-love and friendliness towards yourself. Come back to hold the pearl, elbows away from the body. Take a full breath. Let's do one more form here. Let's lift our hands up to the level of the solar plexus, turn them over, separate them, and float them down. Lift our arms to the sides now with the palms facing forward. As the arms come up, the gaze will come up. The palms will come to cross over, one wrist crossed over the other with the palms facing in, and we'll draw the hands down. We'll lean ourselves forward, and then we'll uncross and we'll gather the chi in towards the heart and down. Bit complicated, huh? Let's do it again. Lift the arms, palms facing forward, up over the head to gaze up. Turn the palms inward and cross over the wrists and pull the crossed arms down. Bend the knees, lean forward, uncross, circle up towards the heart and lightly press down. Let's do it again. Out to the sides and up. If you can, start to notice which wrist is on the inside of the cross And every repetition you do, you alternate which wrist is on the inside. We're going to do a couple more. Nice and slow, lift the arms, palms face forward, up to look up. Cross over and draw down. Bend the knees, lean forward here. Then gather the chi, circle around and down. We've got one more to go. We'll let the arms circle around to the heart. We'll press down. And we're going to step our feet back to bamboo in the wind. We're going to bring our hands, back of the fingers touching in front of the heart. Let's center ourselves here before we close for today, for this session. Let's send one hand up and one hand down. Look straight ahead. Fingers pointing up, fingers pointing down. And then in opposite directions, the arms will move and swap places. Fingertips pointing up and down and back to the heart. Back of the fingers touching. Go back the way you came. So tracing over the shape that you just made and radiating around. Back to the heart. Back of the fingers touching. One more time, trace over the ground that you already traveled across. Find your way back to the heart. Touch the back of the fingers, feel them touching. Bring your arms by your sides, point the fingertips down, and then close your chi gates. Lift the arms, drawing a circle. Imagine that you're collecting all of your resources and you're closing your field as you pull the arms down in front of you. They come back by your sides, deliberately pointing down, feeling your feet touching the earth, feeling the crown of your head reaching to the sky. Take your hands and place them over your dantian, your abdomen below your navel. Close down your eyes or partially close the eyes or look down and just be in this moment for a couple of breaths. The aspect of Qigong that we didn't get a chance to explore today is the stillness practice. Now is when we would do that. We would spend time standing, sitting, or lying down and allowing the practice to integrate. We've come to the end of our session with me for today, and thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed the experience and maybe it's piqued your interest in exploring further this practice of Qigong. Thank you.